Your cleaning routine is robbing you, not of money, not of energy, of actual hours of your life. And the worst part? Most people never figure out why their home still feels messy after spending the whole afternoon cleaning. The truth is, a lot of what passes for cleaning is just organized busy work. You feel productive, but the room looks almost exactly the same as when you started. That stops today. Mark is here. Welcome to Seniors Cleaning Hacks, the channel dedicated to smarter, easier, and faster cleaning for every home. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell so you never miss a tip. And if this video helps you, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who spends way too long cleaning and still isn't happy with the results. Now, let's get into it. The real problem with cleaning. Most people clean hard. The problem is they are not cleaning smart. There is a massive difference between putting in effort and getting results. Cleaning smart means knowing which jobs actually move the needle and which ones are quietly eating up your time without giving you anything back. Every job on this list feels like real cleaning. That is what makes it such a trap. So go through each one, figure out which ones you are doing, and swap them out for the better approach. Cleaning job number 1, wiping around things instead of moving them. This is one of the most common cleaning habits people fall into, and it quietly doubles your workload every single time. Picture a kitchen counter covered with bottles, appliances, a fruit bowl, and a few random items. Instead of moving them, most people wipe around them, under them, and between them. The result? A counter that still looks cluttered and half-cleaned. The fix is simple. Before you clean any surface, clear it completely. Move everything off the counter, off the floor, off the shelf, then clean the surface from end to end. Then put things back where they belong, not just wherever they were sitting. This two-step habit of clear, then clean makes surfaces look genuinely clean and saves you from redoing the same job 2 days later because you missed all the edges and corners. This principle applies to floors too. Vacuuming around piles of shoes, bags, and baskets means you're not actually cleaning the floor, you're decorating around the mess. Clear the floor, then clean it. Cleaning job number 2, reacting to every mess the moment it appears. Wiping every crumb the second it lands, picking up every item the moment it is out of place, chasing mess around the house all day, this is what cleaning burnout looks like. And the exhausting part is that no matter how much you do, the house never actually feels clean because something new always appears within minutes. The smarter approach is called batch cleaning. Instead of reacting to every small mess throughout the day, you allow things to accumulate and then address everything in one focused session. Once in the morning, once in the evening, or whatever timing works for your household. During that session, you move through the home systematically and reset everything at once. The house gets clean in one go, and you're not mentally on call as a cleaner all day long. This is not laziness, it's efficiency, and it protects your energy for things that actually matter.
Cleaning job number 3, running the washing machine half empty. Tiny loads of laundry, 6 items here, 4 items there, is one of the biggest time, energy, and money wasters in the home. Every load uses the same amount of water and electricity, regardless of size. Running 5 small loads when 2 full ones would do the same job means you are paying extra, waiting longer, and doing more work overall. Build a laundry rhythm instead. Group your laundry by type: lights, darks, colors, towels, and bedding, and set specific days for washing. Running full loads consistently means fewer cycles, lower utility costs, and a lot less mental energy spent thinking about whether laundry needs doing. A bonus tip: sort laundry throughout the week into labeled hampers or baskets so that on laundry day, all you do is transfer and start the machine. No sorting stress, no wasted time. Cleaning job number 4, using worn out or wrong cleaning tools. A dull knife makes cooking harder. A flat tire makes driving dangerous. And a cheap, worn-out cleaning cloth makes cleaning nearly impossible. You just push dirt around and exhaust yourself in the process. Yet so many people hold on to old sponges, frayed mops, and flimsy dusters long past the point where they are actually useful. The right tools do the heavy lifting for you. High-quality microfiber cloths, for example, trap dust and bacteria instead of spreading them around. A well-designed scrub brush gets into corners without you needing to press hard. A good mop cleans in one pass instead of 3. Investing in proper tools is not an indulgence, it is a practical decision that shortens every cleaning session and gets better results. Replace tools when they stop performing, not when they fall apart completely.
Cleaning job number 5. Vacuuming without rearranging the room. Vacuuming around chair legs, under the edge of a coffee table, and alongside furniture that has not moved since last year is not thorough cleaning, it is an obstacle course. And all those areas you are carefully navigating around, they're collecting the most dust and debris. Before vacuuming any room, take 60 seconds to move the movable pieces. Slide chairs away from the table. Push the coffee table to one side. Move floor baskets and throw rugs. This gives you clear, straight lines to vacuum, which is not only faster, but far more thorough. Pay special attention to high traffic zones, around the kitchen island, near the sofa, in front of doors, as these collect significantly more debris and may need a second pass. Vacuuming in straight, overlapping lines rather than random patterns also ensures full coverage with fewer back-and-forth movements. Cleaning job number 6. Heavy scrubbing the shower every week. If every shower cleaning session involves serious scrubbing, that is a sign the prevention habits are missing, not a sign that scrubbing harder is the answer. Soap scum, mold, and mildew build up because moisture is left behind on surfaces after every shower. That residue becomes the problem that requires all that effort to remove. 2 habits eliminate most of that buildup entirely. First, use a squeegee on the walls and glass after every shower. It takes about 30 seconds and removes the moisture that soap scum needs to form. Second, ventilate properly. Run the exhaust fan during your shower and keep it running for at least an hour afterward. This removes the humidity that leads to mold and mildew. With these 2 habits in place, a light wipe down of the shower once or twice a month is genuinely all that is needed. The scrubbing sessions become a thing of the past. Cleaning job number 7. Cleaning in a random, unplanned order. Moving from surface to surface without a system, cleaning the floor, then a shelf, then the counter, then noticing the ceiling fan is dusty, then going back to the floor, means you are constantly re-cleaning things you already did. Dust falls, crumbs drop. Wiping a high shelf after you've already done the counter below it means you have to clean that counter again. The rule that fixes this is simple. Always clean from top to bottom and work from one side of the room to the other in a consistent direction. Start with ceiling fans, light fixtures, and high shelves. Work your way down to counters, furniture surfaces, and lower shelves. Finish with the floors. This way, anything that falls during cleaning is caught by the step below it, and the floor, cleaned last, captures everything. Stick to this sequence every time, and cleaning sessions become noticeably shorter and more complete. Cleaning job number 8. Treating every cleaning day like a deep clean. Deep cleaning everything every week is not sustainable, and for most homes it is not even necessary. Yet many people feel guilty if they are not scrubbing baseboards, washing windows, cleaning behind appliances, and doing a full top-to-bottom overhaul every single time they clean. That level of effort on a weekly basis leads directly to cleaning fatigue and eventually to avoiding cleaning altogether. The smarter model separates maintenance cleaning from deep cleaning. Maintenance cleaning happens regularly, wiping down surfaces, vacuuming floors, cleaning the bathroom, tidying the kitchen. These are the tasks that keep a home functional and presentable week to week. Deep cleaning tasks,
Washing walls, cleaning inside cabinets, scrubbing grout, moving heavy furniture happen on a longer cycle, monthly, quarterly, or seasonally. A seasonal deep clean twice a year handles the majority of those tasks effectively. By separating these two levels of cleaning, the weekly routine becomes manageable and the deep clean becomes intentional rather than overwhelming. Cleaning job number 9, owning too many cleaning products. A cabinet full of specialty cleaners sounds like being well prepared. In practice, it means more time reading labels, more storage space used up, more money spent, and more products expiring or going unused. Most homes do not need a separate product for every single surface. The overlap between many specialty cleaners is significant. They are often doing the same job with a different label. A streamlined product list is more efficient. A good all-purpose cleaner handles most surfaces. A disinfectant handles bathrooms and kitchens where bacteria is a concern. A glass cleaner handles mirrors and windows. Dish soap, laundry detergent, and a targeted mold and mildew product round out the essentials. For general floor cleaning, a simple diluted solution often works as well as a specialty floor cleaner. Fewer products means a more organized storage space, a faster decision-making process when cleaning, and a lighter grocery bill. Keep what works, remove what does not, and resist the temptation to add more.
Cleaning job number 10. Cleaning without a time limit. This is the one that makes the biggest difference, and almost nobody does it. Cleaning without a time limit feels open-ended and vague. There is no pressure, no urgency, and no clear endpoint, which means sessions drag on, focus drifts, and the same tasks take twice as long as they should. Setting a timer changes the entire dynamic. When there is a specific window of time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30, the brain shifts into a focused mode. There's a goal, a countdown, and a clear finish line. Tasks get done faster because there is no room for drifting between jobs, checking a phone, or getting distracted. Timing cleaning sessions also helps build accurate expectations. Over time, it becomes clear exactly how long each room or task genuinely takes, which makes planning easier and removes the dread that comes from not knowing how long something will take. Start with a 10-minute timer on one room. The results will be noticeable immediately. This single habit, applied consistently, is one of the most powerful efficiency tools available, and it costs nothing. One more thing. The power of a cleaning sequence. Beyond the individual jobs above, one of the most underrated time savers is having a fixed cleaning sequence for your home. Knowing exactly which room you start in, which direction you move, and which tasks you do in what order removes all the hesitation and decision-making that quietly adds minutes to every session. Decision fatigue is real. The more choices made during a cleaning session, the slower it goes. A written or memorized sequence eliminates that friction entirely. Walk in, follow the sequence, finish, done. Those are the 10 cleaning jobs that waste time and the smarter alternatives that replace them. None of these changes require more effort. They require better habits, the right tools, and a more logical approach. Pick one from this list to focus on this week. Just one. Apply it consistently, and the difference will be noticeable within days. If this video gave you something useful, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need it. Share this video with a friend or family member who deserves to spend less time cleaning and more time enjoying their home. And if you're not subscribed to Seniors Cleaning Hacks yet, subscribe now and join the community that is making home care simpler, smarter, and easier every single week. Drop a comment below and tell Marcus which one of these are you going to tackle first. The community would love to know. See you in the next one.